Well, hello guys. Welcome to a new solo episode. Here we go. Actually, no. You know what? Something doesn't feel right. Something isn't right yet. Hold on. Okay, I feel like this is a little bit more appropriate for the topic today. So, I keep seeing online, really around YouTube specifically, all of these dating questions. And not just like normal dating questions that I would have heard when I was a kid. It's kind of like newer dating questions. But I see them online and on YouTube especially constantly. And now there's even videos of people reacting to these podcasts and long form conversations of like dating questions asked out to people. So I thought, as a young married man, it would be interesting maybe for me to throw out my hot takes about some of these dating questions. So this is the 22 most common relationship advice questions and answers. We're not going to read the answers. We're just going to read the questions. So we're going to go through this website and kind of go through this list and see what my takes are on these questions. First one is, when does a relationship become exclusive? Now, exclusivity, I think, implies a caring beyond like just attraction to each other. This has become committal. We're making a step forward. But how do you know? How do you know when it becomes exclusive? So for me, every time that I dated someone, it was because I wanted to be with them exclusively. I probably wanted to marry them, or thought that they were at least worth marrying if I was dating them in the first place. So I think that, you have to talk about it. You can't just have one person decide when things become exclusive or not. Although I think, just out of not being a hoe, like, it's good to kind of be exclusive, period. Like, if you're dating someone, there's no real reason to be dating 3 or 4 people at the same time. Now, you can go on dates with 3 or 4 people. You can even go on like 2 or 3 or 4 strings of dates with multiple people. But you eventually need to like settle on like one that you really want to be interested in like dating. And I guess really, in my mind, that's when it should become just like exclusive. This is the person that I'm putting time and effort into, and that should be enough, kind of. So that's kind of where I fall with that one. Let's go to the next one. How do you know if it's true love? How do you know if it's true love? Well, I think true love is maybe a little bit subjective. I think some people's definition of true love is just like love that works, love that isn't difficult. But that's not. It's not what real love is. Real love is really difficult. Real love is really, really hard and challenging, and it's something that you work at every single day to make better and better, hopefully, throughout time and throughout your relationship. But man, how do you know if it's true love? I think the way you know really is, you feel it emotionally. You think, oh, I love this person. In the way that, like, it's not difficult to say that. But I think the real true characteristic of whether or not it's true love is if you look at yourself and you think about the person and you go, are you willing to sacrifice yourself for that person, for better or for worse, in sickness and for health? And if you're not ready to do that, like, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It doesn't mean you won't get there. You might get there, and with that person. But it takes some maturity to realize that you can work to that point instead of just giving up immediately. I think some of the best love stories really are the ones where people stuck it through in spite of differences and came out loving each other more than they thought possible on the other side. Um, so that's that one. Next one. How to impress my partner's parents. I've been told I'm good at this one. I don't know if I am particularly good at this one or not. I guess that's kind of up for my in-laws to decide. I think what parents want from a male's perspective. I'll speak from the male perspective because I don't really know what parents want out of the other partner per se. But I think parents want someone who's, as a male, if you're dating someone's daughter, they want you to be respectful. They want you to be courteous, open the door, gentle. They want you to be gentle. But I think maybe most importantly for actually impressing the parents is having something to talk about. I think the worst thing that any parent could see or hear from the person that their daughter is potentially dating is, just a bunch of ums in a conversation. I think you should be engaged and charismatic enough to kind of woo the parents. I mean, how did you get the girl? Not saying like put on that kind of charm with them necessarily, but you definitely should. You should consider good talking points with your audience. Who are you talking to? Who do you think is the person that you're speaking with? I mean, I'm assuming you don't know them very well. If you're kind of new to the situation, you kind of have to grasp maybe from what she's told you before the date or the dinner or however it's working out, and you kind of just have to think like, okay, like he's a hard ass, or he's an ex-cop, or he's a super sweet butterfly of a man who wears rainbow sweaters all day long. I think you really just have to think to yourself like, okay, how can I benefit their night by me being there, instead of making them worry and detract from an otherwise lovely evening with their daughter? How am I not impeding effectively? And paying, I think, really goes a long way, showing that you can take care of their daughter and they can depend on you for such. I think those are the important things. Let's do a couple more. How to talk about money. Now, this is one that I think is really unique to each individual situation. Really, though, the truth of the matter is, once you're in a serious enough relationship, you're gonna talk about it because you have to. Like, it's just gonna happen naturally because like you're spending money and you probably are sharing money as well. I think normally it's sort of a Bert and Ernie situation with this in particular. People tend to either be really great at finances or really not, and they tend to couple up. So whoever is better with the finances, I suggest they lead, at least until you learn a little bit, because that's going to be a foundation you need to stand on, especially early in a marriage or a serious relationship. Let's do two more. I think my partner is cheating on me. Should I confront him? So this is obviously written from the female perspective, and I'm going to answer it from the male perspective, but giving advice to females, because I think that women maybe worry about this a little bit more than men do. Men are kind of flippant with relationships sometimes, and if a girl was to cheat on me, for instance, unless I was really in love with her, I would probably be okay with just kind of letting things peter out after that. I would just kind of be like, all right, well, that was the decision you made. Deal with the consequences. Women, on the other hand, tend to fall really deeply in love, and because of that, I think it's harder maybe to let go in a situation where they've been cheated on, especially when they're in love with the person, or starting to be in love with the person. So I think, you got to know the main signs of cheating, really, which I think for a woman to pick up on, the main signs that a guy is cheating is like not as interested as he normally is, like sexually and just like talking wise. I think another thing too is like spending more frequent time doing things that are sort of like vague, out with the boys, or had to run some errands, or I'm doing something, can't talk for a while. Like those are kind of like red flags. Like really, I think the biggest thing is inconsistencies, things that aren't in the norm, things that aren't in the normal pattern of what your partner does day to day. If they start making excuses to do something extra or different from their normal schedule often, that's normally a really good sign that they're doing something they don't want you to know about. It doesn't necessarily have to be cheating, but it could be a number of things that kind of fall into that same category. Things you don't want your partner to be doing. That's probably what they're doing when they make extra time for little shit. So yeah, I that's what I would say about that. Anyway, this has been Dating Advice with Red. This is the first episode of this. We might do more, because I think this is kind of fun. Anyway, this has been Red with Just After Midnight. Please check us out, follow and subscribe, and ring the bell, and look at our title card at the end of this video that has the link to all of our socials in it. Give us a follow, keep watching for more content just like this and other stuff. We do a lot, and we do videos every single week. Anyway, you guys are great. I'll see you later. Bye.